and breezy, my life, peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Hey, yeah, I'm back. So today I'm going to be making a vegetarian lasagna. I'm going to be teaching a cooking class on Monday for Abilities Network, the company that I was working for when I first came to Baltimore. They helped move my parents into the Rotunda. They help seniors downsize from their homes into smaller apartments. So I have a background in organizing and production, so it seemed like a good fit. So yeah, I really enjoyed working with them, and as part of their employee sort of, I guess, what do you call that? Team building. They're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a cooking class on Monday with Abilities Network, and going to be doing it on Zoom. So I thought I'd test one of the recipes out. It might not be exactly what I'm making for them, but it's close enough. So it's a vegetarian lasagna, and I'm going to be starting with 2 cloves of garlic, which is right here. And I'm going to be chopping that up, and then also an onion, which I'll be chopping up, and I'm going to saute that with some of the vegetables that I'm going to be putting in there. And I just paused for a moment because I think that I'm going to make the tomato sauce first. No, I'm not. I'm going to do the vegetables first, and then I'm going to do the tomato sauce, and then layer, as you do in the lasagna. How is everybody doing out there, huh? I see that there's a couple people watching, and somehow I turned off the comments so I can't see what anybody's saying, and I hate that. It makes me a little nuts, because I feel like I'm talking to myself, which I am, in a way. It reminds me of the late nights at WERS. I was on the radio station in college at WERS, and I would have these overnights, and I'd be like talking to air. Like, oh my God, I was so cute. I had a radio show called The British Isles, music from the British Isles. And I, for some reason, thought that would be like Jamaica, right? No. It was Scotland, Ireland. It was like, I didn't know anything about those, but I learned. And hi, Care, remember? Thank you. They're my Zenni optical glasses. I've got a sty in my eye. I don't know if you can see it. It's absolutely hideous. But, so I get to wear my glasses. And anyway, so yeah, I was talking about Emerson and WERS and this radio show that I had called the Music from the British Isles. And I would go into the library. That's before we had CDs, and I would go into the library and I would just pick out album covers, like the McGorgles. Okay, great. That sounds good. All right. It wasn't that bad, you know. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like this. I just kind of, you know, started talking. Just press the button and go. She goes. Too funny. Carrie, I wonder how you're doing. I wonder how things are going in LA. And, oh, I saw your comment, so we could interact like that. You could even come on if you want to. Brave. I haven't talked to you in how many years? Oh my God. Karathin and Rachel were the 2 people that I moved to New York to be, you know, they were my 2 main friends from college. That moved to New York. Karathin had the most amazing apartment on Perry Street down in the Village. It was like a 3-floor walk up. It was like this absolutely adorable little tiny apartment. 2 rooms and a bathroom and a little tiny kitchen. It must have been like the servants' quarters or something. I miss you too. And we had a lot of fun in that little tiny apartment, didn't we? Yeah? One time, Carathan let me stay at the apartment while she was away, and I was looking for an apartment when I first came. And I had the windows open because it was September, maybe. Yeah. And the windows were open. There was beautiful French windows out onto Perry Street. And I was getting ready to go out and meet some people, and and this giant bug flew in. I was like freaked out. It was like one of those giant cockroaches. It was like this big, and it came in through the window, and I was like, I'd never seen anything like that before. I ran out of the apartment, and I was like, you know what? I'm leaving, and when I come back, you're gonna be gone. And it was. I don't know what happened to it. Never saw it again, and I'm glad. And that was my initiation to the water bugs, we call them. That was horrific. That was me. Did you freak out too? Yeah, that was a great apartment. So much fun. One of the first memories I have of New York was meeting you at Caliente Cab Company, which was around the corner, and it's still there, maybe post-COVID, who knows? But yeah, that was margaritas. Margaritas. Ah, you make a mean margarita, Miss Carathan. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, I'm cooking. I am going to start sauteing. Sauteing. Say that 10 times fast. Start to saute the garlic and onions, and then while I'm doing that, I'm going to chop up the veg and get that going. And yeah, I think I'm going to cook the vegetables first, because if I put the tomato sauce in there, it's going to get really disgusting. I don't want that. All right? All right. I have had such a good week so far. Has everybody else kind of felt a little lift in life? The weather, first of all, has turned the corner, and I think we're fully entrenched in spring now. And Baltimore is just agog in bloom. It's gorgeous, bursting with color. So there's daffodils everywhere, and forsythia, and cherry blossoms, and just it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So I've really been enjoying that. And we picked this daffodil. Picked that daffodil the other day with my friend Gary Glasner, who came down from New York. Actually, he was sort of doing a little sabbatical on the Eastern Shore. Gary came, and we hung out, and we went to the Edgar Allan Poe grave downtown. And Gary is working on a project for a dementia population, seniors with dementia, and using poetry, and creating a program to deliver poetry. And so we had a really great time. We went to Druid Hill Park. We hung out under the trees. We talked to a guy who was setting up a drone for the, he works for the mayor's office, and he was doing this drone footage filming. And we brought him in to do a poem with us. And yeah, it was really fun. We had him say, I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree. Anyway, you had to be there, but it was really fun. Then we went to the Edgar Allan Poe grave and reenacted, there's a story that on Edgar's birthday that one of his fans comes and puts a rose and a snifter of brandy on the grave. So we did that, and hi Jackie! Yeah. And so my friend Gary was filming. He's a poet. He teaches poetry. So Carathan, I was going to name drop a little tiny bit, but I didn't. I refrained from the name dropping. So I felt very good about that. Anyway, you know, about Joyce. So yeah, we did the Raven, of course, the Raven, Nevermore. And thank you. All right, mwah. I have been watching the news about Ethiopia and I'm absolutely horrified. And yes, men. Oh. Sorry, that was non sequitur, but Carathan has a son that she adopted many years ago when he was a wee babe. And he is from Ethiopia, Bedalu, and he's absolutely gorgeous and growing like a beanstalk. And but in any case, yeah, last night my parents, we were watching the news and just hearing about what's happening in Ethiopia and this idea of ethnic cleansing. Come on! When is this going to stop? I mean, COVID, okay, that's cleansing. That's horrifically cleansing thing, something that we can't do anything about, except we are trying to do something about it. But men killing each other, wiping out villages, raping people. I mean, Attila the Hun, we've done it, okay? We're done. I don't get it. What's it all for? Just tell me, what is all that for? Because if, you know, they want power, that's pretty fleeting, I think. Even Fidel Castro passed, you know? I mean, it doesn't last that long. Meanwhile, you're destroying lives, you're uprooting people's families, they're living in temporary camps. It's absolutely horrifying. And the women are the ones who really pick up the pieces and carry on the family flame. Meanwhile, this one young man was a soldier, and all of a sudden his friends that he was in training with were actually undercover for I guess the Eritreans maybe, and they cut off his bloody arm with an axe. What is that for? Oh my God, he's lucky he's alive. But this is, you know, it's horrifying. So yeah, I'm talking about Ethiopia while I'm making this vegetarian lasagna. And what was on the news last night was just so sad and disheartening. And you know, the people there are just so beautiful, and they're suffering so much. And it's one of my bucket list items is to go to Ethiopia. It's a beautiful country. The people are absolutely gorgeous, and the food is divine. And there are roots that you know, Jewish roots that come from Ethiopia. So I wish that somehow women could take control and stop this craziness, stop the madness, stop the ethnic cleansing. No, it's wrong. But they do have female soldiers. There was a female soldier who was on camera in one of the news programs that we were watching. So at least they have equality there. Anyway, that's my rant for today, and I wish that it would go somewhere and do something. Oh well. So I'm making a vegetarian lasagna. I've got some zucchini that I just chopped up, and some onion and what you call it, garlic and onion. Now I've got portabello mushrooms, because as we all know, the portabello mushroom is the steak of the vegetarian world. And I'm debating, should I saute them separately and then layer them? No, it's all going to go in the same place. Okay, I'm cutting up I've cut up the portabello mushroom to about the same size as my zucchini, but it's going to shrink because it's going to cook down, because that's what they do. Ooh, and it smells like it's starting to burn, so I'm going to put a little bit of water in here, I think. I could put a little red wine. That would make it taste nice. Yeah, I think so. Right. And there, I have some. Happen to have some right behind me. Hello, Janet. Here I am. Love the same for us. We crave a different kind of love. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, and baby I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. Oh, this is an awesome song. Friends and I, we crack the code. So I've added a little bit of red wine in here, and I'm just sauteing the vegetables in there, and I'm gonna add some oregano. That's gonna taste really yummy. Sal, was it your birthday yesterday? Can you give me a thumbs up if it was your birthday? Give me a heart, something. I think it was, because there were a lot of really great people who had a birthday yesterday. And today also is another good birthday day. And Mary, my friend Mary, had a birthday last week. Oh, and yeah, so I'm sauteing, I've got zucchini and chopped portobello mushrooms in here. I've sauteed that with garlic and onions and some red wine. I just had this Merlot hanging out on the counter back there just for this purpose alone. I cook with it mostly. I really don't drink that much anymore. Kind of crazy. Let me live that fantasy. I love the song. It's a good song to croon to, you know? Lord. Right, Lord? And I'm in love with being queen. This is how I met one of my favorite people who worked with me ever. We were in Trader Joe's, and they were playing the song. Marilyn was behind me, and we both started singing and then talking, and then mayhem ensued. And she is one of my favorite people, and a great person to work with. And yeah, so that's that story. Let me live that fantasy. So I've got, let's see, I've cooked all of that up, and I think that I am just going to reserve the vegetables, as they say when they want you to put something over to the side, and then I'm gonna cook up the tomato sauce, and then we're gonna start with the layering. All right, already. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna turn this off and grab a towel. And do you guys notice? Natural daylight. It's beautiful out. It has, the sun's been going down later and later, more like 7-ish. So that's been really nice too. My God, this pan is heavy. If you ever want to get in shape, just lift your cast iron pans. Sal, I wonder how your wife Renee is. I miss running into you around the block. Yep, that was the fun thing about New York. But, you know, I live in Hamden now, and Hamden's kind of fun too. And I'm sure that I will meet people and run into them when the farmers market starts coming out. I'm hoping to run into or make plans to see several people. My friend Sue, Katie, Ron might want to see you. Bill, have not seen Bill Stevenson since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. So yeah, I'd like to see some of you people in person. Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna turn this jobby back on and turn that down so I don't burn my garlic. I'm adding a little bit of oil, just a wee bit, and some of the garlic that I just chopped up. And then I'm gonna throw in these crushed tomatoes that I got at Whole Foods. And they have basil already added into them, but otherwise I would have added basil. I would have done it. All right. Yeah, we like the basil. So this is the crushed tomatoes. And I did use that crazy gizmo that I got, that can opener, the electric can opener. And I did manage to figure it out. Hey, Gar, I was telling everybody about our fun day trip. And I think that I shall never see a poem just as lovely as a tree. I think I butchered that. I did not do that right. But I can't get it out of my head. It's been in my head all day. Oh, it kind of sticks in there like red onion. Hi. Yeah, and I took Gary to Trinacria, which is one of my favorite Italian places in Baltimore. It's on Utah Street, and I think that it is across the street from what was affectionately known as Jules's Loft, which is where I got my musical education, we could say. That's where a lot of hardcore bands played in the 1980s. We had Corrosion of Conformity and Black Flag, and but that poem is by Joyce Kilmer. What? Oh, anyway, all right, sorry. Hi, Mom. I don't know what poem by Joyce. I Think That I Shall Never See, a poem just as lovely as a tree. That's Joyce Kilmer. All right. Well, anyway. So yeah, we went to Trinacria, which is on Utah Street, which is you know, it was pretty crazy back then in the 1980s. We didn't have crack yet, so it wasn't that bad, but I definitely had my car broken into more than once. And of course it was always just under the deductible for the insurance. Not happy. My parents were like, what are you doing? Get out of there. Stop going to these bad neighborhoods. Sorry. That's what we did. So I've added a little bit of oregano into the crushed tomatoes. And then I'm just gonna let that blend in, and I'm gonna start layering the good stuff. These are some of the lasagna noodles, fresh homemade lasagna noodles that we got at Trinacria. And I don't know what that is, like some, oh, all right, sorry, that came off. The $1.99 for these noodles is so amazing. We also got Italian cold cut subs and muffalettas, and oh my gosh, they just have the best food. Next to the other great place that I love to go to in Baltimore, which is Di Pasquale's, another really good Italian food. So I'm gonna turn that off, and now I've got all my lovely ingredients, and I'm gonna try to do this without, I didn't cook the pasta. I'm gonna do a no cook version and see how this turns out. This is my test. I did this with something else last week, not on camera, but anyway, I just want to make sure it works. You know, always looks good to test out your product before you teach it so that it actually works. As opposed to some recipes I did, you know, I tried with cookbooks that didn't work out, and I'm like, did anybody actually make this? Anyway, so I'm smearing the bottom with my tomato sauce, and the crushed tomatoes are really the best to use with this. I don't like to use jarred tomato sauce. They often put sugar in it, and I just don't think it's necessary. Tomatoes are sweet enough as they are, and I really like that fresh taste. But if you want to use a jarred sauce, then have at it, friends. So I've got my tomatoes on the bottom. It's so funny, when Gary and I were running around filming people the other day, I developed an English accent. I don't know where she came from, but that's, you know, I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree. I'm a goofball. Anyway, so I've got my pasta. I'm going to lay that out. And, you know, and then we're just going to layer stuff. So I've got the vegetables that I cooked up. They're right here. And I'm going to put those on top of the noodles. And like so. Whoops. Sweet little lies. Not tell the truth. I don't know if I'm really going to make it to 2 layers. All right, so this is where the testing part comes in, and now I see that I do need more than 1 zucchini and more than 1 portobello mushroom, because you know, we want it to spread out over 2 layers. I think we're going to layer it. make 2 stories in our lasagna castle. Now I also have some fresh mozzarella medallions that they were selling at Whole Foods today. This morning I got to do some market research. I think I was part of a market research thing, and that was really fun. Ooh, I should have drained this first. I really literally flew in here like 10 minutes before 5. I had a wonderful acupuncture appointment this afternoon in Glen Burnie, near Glen Burnie, but it was right on the water at this woman's lovely home. And then I went to Costco in Glen Burnie. And while I was in Costco, I had a phone therapy appointment. I know, I am so unorthodox, but it was actually really calming being in Costco and doing that. And I'm good at multitasking, I guess, but we're gonna meet in person. She was amazing. I really, really love that. And think that that's gonna be kind of a perfect fit. So I'm laying out these lovely little medallions, and I think that I probably would not use these again for this purpose. I would probably use them on top, but they look cute, and you know, who's watching? You? Me? Whatever. So I'm gonna do another layer. I'm gonna add in a little bit of more of the tomato sauce. And what else am I putting in here? Parmesan, maybe? Mozzarella. Usually I would use a shredded mozzarella here, right? Guido, is that right? What do you use? Signori, fodale. So that's layer number 1. And now I'm gonna do layer number 2. Has anybody else been having really crazy dreams lately? Because I have had some real doozies, and I think that they've been waking me up in the middle of the night again, as well as the birds. Okay, I'm living in an area north of the city, and the birds are so loud. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the birds are singing. I'm like, what's with you guys? Don't you sleep? It's like they're sleeping all day. Who knew birds were nocturnal? So it is really, really loud. I had to shut the windows. I was up from like 2 to 6 this morning, and I got some stuff done. You know, I was like reading and hanging out. But that was really funny. Bloody birds. The birds. Can't get any sleep around here. All right, here's my last layer of the veg, and it's kind of sparse, whatever. I think that I may not ever see a lasagna as lovely as this one will be. That was good. I like that. All right, so I've got these veg coming up in here, and this pan is actually a little bit big. I think this might be 9 by 13, but it's a little big for my happiness, but in any case, I'm doing it. And I'm gonna add in another layer of the cheese. These little lovely medallions. Should I do that on top? No, I'm gonna do another layer of the noodles, and then I'm gonna put that cheese right on top. Maybe I'm gonna do some, I had some shredded Parmesan here somewhere. The cat must have taken it. All right, whatever, I'll put it in later. I'll put that on later. So I'm putting these noodles on top, and then I'm gonna add in more of this tomato sauce. And the liquid, I think, from the tomatoes is really gonna help me to cook these dry lasagna noodles. That's what I'm hoping, because that's what happened when I did it with the gluten-free noodles. So I'm testing it to make sure that it's gonna work with regular noodles. So I think the liquid from the tomatoes is going to cook the noodles. And then on top, I'm gonna add another layer of those lovely little medallions because they're so pretty, and just lay them on here. And I think that they're gonna spread when I bake it. I have not preheated my oven, and they didn't make it all the way around, so I'm gonna grab some mozzarella, put that on top, and add that in. And I think that's it. That's it. That's all I got. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for commenting and being my virtual company. You're virtually here, really. I could feel you virtually. Hope everybody is having a wonderful spring so far, that you've been getting vaccinated if you believe in it, and that you're staying healthy if you don't, and that, you know, as always, I hope that you are staying healthy and that you're staying in your heart. So, thank you. See you next week. Bye.